So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield on the Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I got the guitar player from the band False Gods. They're about to release their third album in a few weeks, July 25th, and we're here to talk about it. So, first of all, Greg, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you, sir. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a nice Friday evening here. Well, almost evening here in Puerto Rico. So I'm doing good.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, you guys are you're in New York, right?
Yes, yeah. We're on Long Island.
Okay, nice. So I listen to your music, and it's strange because first I see that they categorize you like in a hardcore band, but I'm like, I don't know why the hardcore thing, because I think there's different elements. So first, like, tell us a little bit about, for people that are new to False Gods, maybe a little bit about the history of you guys.
Myself and Mike formed the band, I think, late 2015, 16. We'd have been in previous bands before. I mean, we met in our local hardcore scene. And we were doing another project where actually I was playing drums and he was singing, and I'd always played a little bit of guitar, but I'd never been in a band. I never fronted a band, so it was just I just had a bunch of material, and I started demoing it out, and he was into it, and the rest is history. We just kind of kept going from there. So I mean, I could see where like people have like that's definitely an influence because that's kind of our background, and that's kind of like where we met. And New York City, Long Island, our biggest export as far as heavy music is concerned is without a doubt hardcore. So it's definitely a part of our past, but I wouldn't say like we're not a hardcore band, like I wouldn't say that, but we definitely have there's an influence for sure.
So how do you, like, for people like put you in that place, how you do shift away from like being labeled a hardcore band?
I would say that the last record we did, Neurotopia, we kind of played into that thing a little bit, and for me at least, we kind of rested on our laurels a little bit. So with this record coming up that we're about to put out, I specifically, from a musical aspect, was like, the band's gonna like not grow. I wouldn't say go in a different direction. We just matured, and it was a natural evolution because I didn't want us to start getting uh, uh, stifled by a label, of like, all right, we're a hardcore band, so we need to write these songs. And I wanted us to be able to go anywhere, musically speaking. So it was a conscious effort on my part to not play into that, label of hardcore, and kind of expand what we're capable of musically. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of sludge. There's a lot of like post metal.
Yeah.
Like there's some songs that have like that's like you play with the ambience. So to me, I'm like, yeah, I hear a lot different things, but it was interesting, like in like the description of the band. So, but obviously the singles that you put out, I think people will see that you have like different sides. So you have, I think it's 3 singles out right now.
Yes.
You have Imposter, and you have Enemy, that never was, and I think the last one, if I'm not mistaken, is Suffering in a Strange Land.
Yes.
That one has a great bass part to it.
It does. Yeah. Great bass tone. Yeah. Devin's our guy, or he's the man.
Yeah. So you guys are like different. Then tell us a little bit about like the themes that you cover on this record.
So this record, themes, I guess, lyrically and even musically. It was kind of written in a tumultuous time for some of us, going through some personal tragedies. I don't want to get delve too deep into it.
Mhm.
The music is without a doubt a reflection of what was going on in our personal lives. For me, as you know, for me especially. So it was, yeah. So it has, I wouldn't say a somber tone to it, but there's an element of grief, of loss. Um, hence the title. It was real, just kind of a reflection of what was going on in our personal lives.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned the title of that. It has a long album title, but I think this is a great segue to talk about the artwork,
Yes.
the album title. So I'm gonna show it right now. So this is the album artwork for the upcoming album, which is it's a pretty striking, and I can't read, Lost in
Lost in darkness and distance.
darkness and this, yeah, and distance, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't can't read it. It's too, but I have it like here written down, but I can't sometimes. I cannot understand what I write down. So tell us a little bit, first of all, about the artwork, because it's pretty striking artwork. Is that like a picture with some art? How did you do the artwork?
I did not. Okay, we are working with this new artist. And I'm going to look his name up now because it's very difficult to pronounce. He's just some. Give me 1 second, dude.
Yeah, that happens too. That sometimes I can't
his,
understand what I write.
his handle on Instagram is Vaca Stiga, VAKASTIGA. Honestly, it's someone who we just found, Mike and myself found randomly, and we both connected with it. And he was pretty obscure, so we just gave him the. We sent him the record, months ago, and then we just sent him like some lyrical themes, and he just kind of went, "Does this work? How's this?" And each time it's connected. So yeah, as far as what the image is, I don't know exactly. It's pretty bold. I think we wanted to make a statement this time around, so a lot of his artwork is pretty striking and very reflective of the music and the lyrics for sure. So we're
Yeah,
pretty
I
proud of
like
it.
some eyes, and I think I don't know if it's a woman or a man crouched down in a fetal position. So yeah, it's interesting, and it goes with the music.
I
So
think so, but yeah, 100%.
the album title, "Lost in a Darkness and Distance." Uh, Tell us a little bit about like what that album like title, like where you're going with album titles. Like I don't know if that's a lyric in one of the songs, or how did you come up with like
That's a question better answered by Mike. I think
oh
he found it from a novel by oh my God, who wrote Frankenstein?
Mary Mary Shelley something?
Yes, yeah. I think he found it from that novel.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So
I've
the
never read
secret is revealed.
that novel actually, or I can't remember if I read it, but yeah, that's interesting. So
Yes.
tell us about you, since you're a guitar player. Like, tell us about like the guitar tones that you were looking for on this record, your process as the guitar player.
That's a good question. A lot of it comes down to the studio that we worked in, called Westfall Studios in Long Island. We recorded our last record there, and I just have a. They kind of knew the last couple recordings we've done. We did a full length record there. Then we did like a 2-song split that came out 2023, and those guys, they kind of get what they kind of know, like how to produce like this band. I feel like so. Um, they kind of just we kind of it's a collaboration really as far as tones are concerned. Um, yeah, I would say it's more of a. I don't come in with. I just kind of pick the gear that works, and we just kind of collaborate from there as far as tones is concerned.
Yeah. Any gear in particular that you like to use for?
This record was recorded with that Soldano, the SL100. Yeah, and then I use a ESP Viper 1000 with Fluence, the Florence Fluence pickups. They're a little bit cleaner. That was doing a lot more of that kind of ambient space vibe thing, less of the fuzzy stoner thing. I mean, it still can do that, but I needed more articulation. I just needed a cleaner tone.
Okay. So yeah, I think it got that tone, like in the post metal parts of the song. You can hear the cleaner tone in the guitar on the songs, and I would say that I don't think the album sounds like somber, but it has, it has like brutal parts and more like I wouldn't say like sad parts, but like you can tell like there's a lot of emotion. So you can
Yes.
tell that you guys went through some stuff to get this album done. So in a way, was it for how long was the recording process for this?
We recorded it last summer. Probably a couple weeks. I would say it was the end of July into August, so about 2 to 3 weeks. And then the mixing and mastering process took a while. But this was recorded last year. Yeah.
For you, do you prefer like when you're like recording in the recording studio, or do you prefer where you're out on the road playing the songs live?
I like touring, of course. But I mean, for me, I want to be in the studio constantly. So yeah, I want to be creating all the time. So I want to get back there as fast as we can. Like I want to pump out the next one.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, touring is a necessity, especially for a band of in our situation. I think for any band, any band, whether it's heavy metal or whatever genre, you have to tour. But you need to do both. You know, I like being on the road, but I love being in the studio. I love, writing songs and all
So
that. All that
in
comes.
the process of writing songs for this one, was there a song that maybe gave the band more of a hard time to maybe it was the music, maybe it was the subject matter?
So the way this record was written, so 2 of the 4 of us do not live in New York. Mike, the singer, actually moved down south, and our drummer actually lives in Mississippi. So the way it was written, I basically would play demos. I would record all the rhythm tracks, guitar rhythm tracks, and basic drum tracks, and send them to everybody. And then they learn their parts and they do their thing, and we kind of arrange it, and then everyone puts like their thing on top of it. So, but the fact that like half of the band lives in Mississippi and half of us live in New York, it's kind of a challenge. We don't really get to like get in the studio and kind of bash it out. It's kind of like I'm sending people the material, and then everyone kind of does, puts their part to it. So that in itself definitely was a challenge for sure. It takes a lot of work to write songs that way, but we made it happen. So we're proud of this one for sure.
Do you do the band practices over Zoom?
No. Everyone they know the material. It's like learn it when we go to tour, typically, whether we're going wherever we're going, whether the guys are coming up here or Devin and I are going down south, we'll budget a day for rehearsals, and we just rehearse for like as long as we can, and then the first show is still like a rehearsal. So it's really like know your shit, and get up on there, but there's no like hours in the studio plugging away. It's like, that first show is typically a rehearsal.
So that you would say to people, catch us on our second show.
Sometimes you know what? Sometimes magic happens on that first night. We're like, whoa, where did that come from? You know. So
No,
we were like, we debuted "Suffering in a Strange Land" on this last tour with Flesh Parade, and it was like it kept you on your toes for sure. Like, oh, let's see where this goes, but it worked. We pulled it off.
yeah. I've talked to some other bands that I think they do, if they're in different places, they do like that Zoom thing. But I don't know. I think you need, I think for band practice, I think it's better if everyone's like in the same place at the same time, because first of all, it's not going to sound great over a meeting and you're not looking at each other. I'm guessing sometimes musicians like talk with their eyes, like like you don't say anything, like if someone you look at them or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how other bands do it for this type of music. I don't think it's feasible at all. Everyone's a great player. So everyone's a pro. They know they got to do their homework, and then we just need to do a couple rehearsals to make sure everyone's good to go. And then once we like play, then the songs kind of take a life of their own.
Yeah, and I actually don't think that you told me if there was a song that gave you that was more of a challenge for this one.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this was like a tough. I don't know if it was one song. The whole record was kind of like tough to make. We actually went in with like 9 songs, and then we just picked out the 7 best. I mean, logistically, it was tough. Emotionally. It came from. I mean, for me, especially, came from like a kind of a dark place. So some of them were kind of like tough to write. Imposter definitely has like musically that like soul crushing sort of a vibe to it. So, it wasn't like, like, hard to write as far as like technically, musically, speaking, but like, it was hard to like emotionally pull all that shit out and get it out, Um, but no, I wouldn't think that one was like more when people say like was one harder to write. I feel like they're more speaking in like technical terms. Not really. Like I said, it was a challenge because we're sending stuff back and forth, and then some of the times, I mean, the first time we all played these songs were in the studio, so it was all like a challenge. I would say every fucking song was like a little bit of a challenge, but it got worked out.
Yeah, but maybe that's why you capture like that sound
Yeah,
raw, because maybe you're not overthinking it and you gotta like, okay, so you got here, we send you stuff, now we gotta do it. So maybe it works that way.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah. So the album's gonna be out July 25th. Is it gonna you're gonna have like physical copies? Where can be like for people who want to buy them?
Yeah, we're doing a pre-sale on our Bandcamp for CDs, and I think we eventually are going to have cassettes. We're still working a couple of deals out for that, but BCP 30 Productions is putting out the CD, so they'll have it on sale on their website, and then we'll have it on sale at our Bandcamp, at shows and stuff. So,
Yeah.
so for right now, it's just CDs, and then eventually cassettes.
And are you guys gonna? When are the next shows for people who wanna see you live?
The next show that's on the books, we're playing a festival in Tampa, Florida, like a Doomed and Stones festival, and then we're going to be doing some shows down to that. So
Okay.
we haven't announced it just yet, but we're going to be doing probably about a week of dates down to that fest. And then we're gonna, so it's the end of October into November. And then we're gonna do some stuff in December that I can't talk about just yet.
Okay, so just follow you on the social so people can know when it's open. But for now, your best bet is to go on Bandcamp to pre-order the album Lost in Darkness and Distance. So yeah, Greg, I want to thank you, for taking some time of your Friday almost evening to chat with me a little bit about the album and music and other things. So before I let you go, anything you like to say to the fans before we go?
July 25th, the record comes out. Hope to see everybody on tour. Thanks for supporting us. I hope you dig it.
Awesome, man. So Couchers, now I'll post the link for the band, so you can also follow the band and anything. And you got the two other albums. If they if you still have copies, they can also there's the previous.
We have plenty of copies still for sale on our Bandcamp. So come get them.
Okay. So Greg, I want to thank you for taking some time to talk from New York, Puerto Rico. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Durana Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.